Good afternoon, traders. It's Simon at Kairos Capital Markets with a weekly review of Aussie dollar and pound yen and the euro dollar. So last week, we're going to start with the euro dollar. So last week I said it will go to 1.25 this week. I also said the week before it will take 2 weeks to get to the 1.25 level. And lo and behold, 2 weeks. It took 9 days out of 10 days. It took 9 days to get there. I did say most likely Thursday it happened as well. So we was pretty much spot on there what we was doing. No surprises here whatsoever on the euro dollar. So what happens now? Well, this is the weekly chart, and as you can see, it's moved up quite strongly there in respect to what the candles are. But what you don't actually know is this, and I want to show you volume now. So this is an around chart. You can use any normal forex broker. I don't use IDC for this one. It's just want to see the volume at the bottom. The weekly chart again. I want to show you something here. This bullish engulfing candle, yeah, was bigger volume than this candle here. The volume's at the bottom there. Small volume, higher volume. You then got this little low test with huge amounts of volume here. And then you got this massive move up with less volume. Below average, actually, as well. So this move up here would be what I'd call a fake move up. It's more priced in with the market makers rather than anything else. Now, the reason for that is on Thursday you had the ECB meeting. You had a lot of news being thrown around there. You know, when news comes in, the brokers will try and get you get tight with your money, and they'll actually bid things up. You get stop hunted, and this kind of stuff all happens all the time when you trade news. So the reason why that has such a bullish engulfing candle but low volume is actually because the market makers were really bidding it up, although it did go up as well on the day with some sentiment as well. So let's now go back to our normal chart, and let's look at the daily so it's happening now, because what I see on the daily is this. I see this really overextended run now. It's come up, pulled back, come up harder, not really pulled back, then you shot back up again and put two trees at the bottom where there's some trend lines and 1.25. So for me personally now, I do feel there could be a short-term short position coming up. And if we come down to here, this is what we're looking at. So I'm actually entered this trade already. I like the way it broke down. It was a good breakdown. The 5-minute chart did break down, and we now started to change trend on the 1 hour chart. Notice how we've actually started to put in a lower low and a lower high here. And what I expect, just me delete this quickly, and what I'd expect now really is a more of a breakdown here. So what I'm looking for now is the confirmation of a breakdown to 1 hour 50, a pop back up somewhere around that area, this kind of area here, and then we'll start heading down again. That's what I'm really looking for, and that's the safest trade to take if you do take it short. Target wise, well, we can just look at common sense and go with the first area. I had 1.215 on the weekly chart as a zone, so 1.215 would be my first target. If we broke 1.25 and broke a daily 50, and if you notice that upward sloping trend line, we would actually effectively be in a bear trend then as well. So there is a possibility, but at the moment I think it's only a slight possibility. Although I do see the euro either knocking around up here and then coming down. If it does break to the upside, I'd be very surprised if it stays above there, because it's such a bull trend there. Now the other thing is what to understand is after the ECB, Trump come out to CNBC and said that he believes the dollars will come strong. And that has actually boosted the dollar strength up from the end of the week. So the reason you got these two little high tests is because Trump come out and said he feels the dollar is strong, will become strong, and people started buying the dollar again. So that's the fundamental thing you have to remember there as well, which is people are going to take into consideration. Now, Aussie dollar. Last week I said to you I didn't like this whole pattern. We had the high test, bullish engulfing candle, high test again, and notice what's happened here. Notice how the price broke above it, and then it's a hammerhead, but it never changed trend. So let me just show you what I mean by that. It never ever changed trend. I did say to you guys, if you pick the top, you're gonna get stung. Notice how here, higher low, higher higher, higher low, higher higher. So you actually got higher highs, higher lows all the way through this chart. This is the 1 hour chart. It's not the 4 hours, it's the 1 hour chart. You can see where the highs and lows are here. Now, the only thing I can say that kind of good about this would be this high test here, but it's not a shorting opportunity yet. You can see the 4 hour 50 has stood the test of time since we've been in this bull run through January. See, it came down, it broke here, come to upside, it chopped around, and just then rallied up, little pullback, rallied up again, pullback, rallied up again. So if you're going to short this trade, this pair, my advice would be take a break and retest the 4-hour 50. The 4-hour 50 is key in this trade. It's simple as that, and I wouldn't take nothing before it. Looking up the weekly chart though, the problem you do have is this: the candles are getting bigger and bigger and bigger here. It's got acceleration, and the other thing as well that confirms to you the acceleration would be the volume. So this volume here speaks loudly here on the weekly chart. So you've got this candle here, low volume. The next candle, volume picked up, but the body did drop a little bit. The next candle here, the body's about the same, but the volume picked up again. Then you got a bigger move. I said last week, I didn't like this candle last week. I said don't like shorting it because we were accelerating, higher volume, and then really even a more bullish engulfing candle, even higher volume. So the volume actually represents the candles here on the weekly chart. And for me personally, that means that you will actually get stung if you take this trade short right now. You need to wait for the reversal to happen on the 4-hour chart. You need to see that happen. If you don't see it happen, don't take the trade. Also notice how it closed above the highs of everything as well. So I'm just going to zoom out again the weekly chart, show you what I mean. It's the highest close it's had since 2015. Yeah, December 2015, the highest close this has had. So 82 looks like it's on the cards. Testing this upward sloping trend line, I'm not going to be surprised at all. So just bear that in mind for this week. I think if you're going to short this, you're going to get stung unless, of course, you see the trend change on the lower time frames, and that's going to be confirmed all the way through. So pound yen. To be honest with you, I thought it's a mess. I still see this. It tested 155 eventually. We had this line marked in for over a year now. It's put a high test there. It does look like a shorting opportunity there. Looks like you've got a rising wedge as well. So I'm not surprised to see it go short this week. Unfortunately though, I still have higher highs, higher lows here. But short term wise, you can see that it's broken down to the downside quite nicely. So what I'm going to do now is live in the market is just delete a few things off my chart. It's getting very, very messy now. So this is the 1 hour. I'll delete that, and I think the 4 hours done as well. So as you can notice here, sorry guys. As you notice here, we've broken down quite significantly to the downside on the 4-hour 50. I'll be expecting a small retest and a breakdown again. The reason why, let's just zoom in for here. This would be your trend line to confirm the bullness here, and I feel that we would break down. If you then drop down to the 1 hour chart, I'm going to copy this over here. Copy that over. You can see straight away it's lined the 1 hour 50. So really, what I'm looking for now is a retest of the 1 hour 50. Let's just say we put the order there. That's a good place for an order. You can put your stop loss the highs if you want. If you think it won't go above the highs, you got your Fibonacci retracements as well and stuff. So we've already got the order at 0.5. So personally myself, you can put your stop there. In all fairness, that'd be a nice safe stop, 70 pip stop. And where would you target? Well, let's go back to the weekly chart and see what we've got. Because personally myself, I think 152 would be an ideal target there, definitely. So let's go to 152, which is here, and there's your 3.5% trade there. So this trade here could finish you off for the month quite nicely. I think it's a good trade personally. You've got the hallmarks of let's just go back here again to understand. Weekly sentiment looks bearish. You've got a high test. You've got the pattern. You've got the key level there. You've got deceleration, reversal. You then got on the daily chart, you can definitely see a bearish engulfing candle here forming, breaking the actual the last bit of this bullness to the downside on the intraday chart. And then obviously the target is a perfect target of 152 because you got the daily 50, you got the trend line, you got the key level and the box as well. So personally myself, it's a pretty nice trade. That's how I would play it. Place the order and go from there. And bear in mind, we just tap it a little bit above 152.1 would be what I'll be looking for. Okay guys, that's it. So Bitcoin now, last one Bitcoin, let's get through this quickly. Bitcoin itself, notice now how we've just consolidated around the $10,000 mark a couple of times, and we're making a little pattern here now by looks at it again, another pattern within a pattern. So personally myself, we may break out to the upside, but we ain't going to break out the upside of a smaller pattern, testing another pattern again, which is a larger pattern. So for me to become bullish on this pair, one, let's have a look what we're going to do here now. For me to become bullish on this pair properly, it needs to come into this area here, anything around here, around that area there. If it goes into this area here, above these two trend lines, that's lovely. That would be absolutely beautiful. But for that to happen, it's going to go through so much stuff, it's going to be very difficult. So if it goes even up to 14,000, I will still say we're bearish because it hasn't actually broken either of the trend lines. Although it has broken the $13,000 and the daily 50, it hasn't broken these two trend lines, which has been containing price. So anything in this area here is going to be bearish. Anything in this area here is bullish. And here you're going to get a lot of mess if it goes on around here somewhere for the moment. So for this week, I'll be watching out for that kind of move. Like I said, it could move to the upside. But like I said, it wouldn't be what I'd call a confirmed bullish move. At the moment, it is being restrained via the 4-hour 50 EMA still. I'll put this upward sloping trend line in as well. This is what I mean by the pattern. You can draw a trend line like this, something like that. Maybe not the best one there, but you definitely got these ones here for yourself. And price is being restrained there as well. So any bearishness below here is going to be a continuation of the bear trend. Anything above this, it can still test 13,000. Confirm that this pattern here broke to the upside, had its one-to-one pattern distance here, and then break back down again. So just be careful of that one. And like I said, on the 4-hour chart, this is your zone of bearness. So if it enters anything around here, anything around this area here below this trend line, you are really going to look for a bear trend, and that will be the confirmation of this whole entire triangle. You'll get down to 8,300, mess around, break down again to 6,500. That's what Bitcoin will do if it breaks that downward sloping trend line. Okay, so be careful this week. I'm not actually here this week now, so this will be my last video most likely until next week, Thursday or Friday, I would imagine. So take care. Any questions, do give us a shout. I'm still out and about, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.